Hey, good morning, everyone. How are you today? Did everyone just watch Dita's Crafts and Creations? What a cool project. I do love watching all of the other crafters, but I'm glad you guys are here today. We're going to do some fun little painting. You know I paint pretty quickly and with a lot of colors, so it's going to be a fun morning. So say good morning when you pop in. I'm going to pull you up on my end so that if you have any questions at all, you can put them in the comments and we will get started in a minute. So you're popping in. Hello, good morning. Say hello. Tell me where you're watching from. I'm always interested to see where people are from. Hey, Sandy, good morning. Because I'm in the middle of a move. Hi, Lisa. I have just been going back and forth, and you've probably seen me. I think I did one live already here in my New Florida location. So I am in Lakeland, Florida this morning. Hey, Cheryl, good morning. And Karen, thank you guys for popping in. I've got my studio sort of set up. I'm looking for some brushes. There's some are missing, but we're going to make do with what we have because you don't need a lot of supplies to get started. Hey, Susie. Charlotte, good morning. I'm down in your neighborhood kind of again. Oh, Lisa, you're from Virginia. I passed through on my drive down here. I drove down a few weeks ago, turned around, went back home. Tracy, good morning. Looks like you guys had a fabulous time in Texas, and that is on my radar. I just couldn't pull it off with the move right now, but I wish to be there. You had a blast. It looked great. And I haven't been to Texas yet, so that is where I am going to hope to go. Cindy, hi. I am from New England. I lived in Massachusetts all my life. And I have a summer place, a little camper on the coast of Maine. Hey, Eric, I'll see you soon. What I love, that's the summer. So in the summer, I have a little camper on the ocean there. And we just bought a place in Lakeland, Florida. So we are going to be one of those snowbird people. So we will have our summers up in Maine. I'll head back on Sunday morning to open that up. And then we will be down here in Lakeland for the winter. So I can't wait. It's so fun. It's so bright. If you saw me usually, I'd be coming from my basement studio and look at how bright and nice it is here. So we can really have a better view of what we're doing. So yeah, in the middle of everything. But anyways, I'm glad you're showing up and popping in and saying hello. And like I said, I'm right here to answer questions too. If I don't see your question as I'm painting, don't worry, I will answer it right after it. The live will be recorded. It stays up on the pages, so don't worry. You can just sit back, enjoy, and watch, or you can paint along anytime. When I paint, I try to use simple amount of colors, not every color under the sun. I kind of will show you as we go how to blend if you just want to start with your basic primary colors too. Simple little project today is going to be just a little summer sunset. This is so quick and easy. Oh, Bartow, Florida. Oh, cool, Cindy. I'd love to meet up sometime. I'm getting an idea of what it's like here. I didn't really know much about the community, but I am loving everything. There's such a good art community here and a lot of creatives. I have some friends in the area. My brothers, both brothers live in my neighborhood. My sister lived over in Orlando as well as my son. And I have one more brother from Mass that will make his way down as soon as he can too. So yeah, I'd love to meet anybody in the area. I do a lot of in-person paint parties. I do classes. I do online. So I'd love to meet. Send me a message. So anyways, this morning, it's just a little 5x7 canvas board. I'm doing it because I happen to have the sample. It's a fun, quick little painting. You could paint this on a big canvas as is. I've done that before. So I'm going to show you the little 5x7. Feel free to paint it on any size that you want. Good morning, Pat. So pretty easy. And doesn't it require a tracer? So some of my paintings, usually my quicker ones that I do here, you really don't need a tracer. If you ever need one, message me. I can make one for you. This one is simply a line across. So I just penciled in a little line just so I will be fairly straight. Oh, Niagara Falls in Canada. I have been there once many years ago, but I want to go back too. I love to travel as well as paint, and I love to paint when I travel. So anyway, so we're going to paint this simple little painting. I'm using just ordinary acrylics. I do like the deco art, but whatever you have, use whatever you have. I do a lot with Liquitex, heavy body and liquid, but I don't want you to get overwhelmed. If you want to start painting, I want you to be able to do it simply and easily and not use excuses of, I don't have all the things. You don't need many things. A few colors, a few simple brushes. The brushes are pretty inexpensive. They're just acrylic. You take care of them. They're going to last you a long time. You can do simple surfaces, canvases. Thank you, Laura. Those are, everyone asks about the glasses. They're from Zenny online. Super inexpensive, but they're just my prescription readers. canvas boards. I find things at yard sales, in flea markets, and vintage shops to paint on. You've probably seen some of the tin pieces and whatnot, but simple little piece. You could do it on mixed media paper. You could do it on something just to get started and practice. I'm big on getting you painting and trying to overcome the reasons, which the major ones are overwhelmed by supplies, time. Watch what we do in 45-minute segments on Craft Around the Clock. You guys see what we all do in 45 minutes. So you can't say, oh, I don't have time. Carve out even a half an hour for yourself. And once you set up a little area and get started, you'll be surprised how easy it is to get in and start creating. And it's so good. Even, it doesn't matter even what you come up with. Just that little time where you're using your brain and you're creative makes you feel good. And we all can use that a little more these days, right? A little joy in our lives. So, all right. So I'm going to get started. And I'm going to try to keep it so that you can see what I'm doing. If I pull it the wrong way, let me know and I'll get it back. Oh, Pam, I have a little miniature dachshund, and I've always had dachshunds my whole life. And I also now have an Irish wolfhound, so it's a great pair. They're hilarious. The wolfhound is 4, the dachshund is 15. She rules all of us. She is the big dog service emotional support animal. Seriously, I can't even get the big one in the car without the little one going first, or into the vets without the little one taking her in. So I love dachshunds. I have all kinds of cool dachshund things I've been putting up in my new place here. So yeah, that one was a gift from my son's friend, Sam. I love it. It's just kind of abstract and it goes in my little room here so well. So I'm happy to have it. Hey, Debbie. Good morning, everyone. Okay, I'm going to use just a flat brush acrylic, put my sky in. My sky is just kind of turquoise. Again, what I want you to do is when you're painting with me, paint what you like with what you want, what colors. You could make this a night sky. You could make this a blue sky. Do whatever you like and mix it up. Hey, Katie, good to see you guys. So I'm going to use just a turquoise. I have a turquoise color that I love because I use turquoise a lot. But you could simply make this color very easily. If you have like a phthalo blue, a phthalo green, and some white, you can make these colors. Not something that is hard. Good morning, Terry. So I'm going to just paint my sky. Now, a lot of times I'm going to tell you, paint your sky kind of with strokes like this, which I like because it looks natural. For some reason on this sky, I'm doing more of a back and forth because I want to streak some white paint in there. You could use a synthetic brush like this. You know I love my hog bristle long handled brushes. I just couldn't find them at the moment in my studio. Oh, I think they're over there. So I'm just use what you have, right? Hi, Lynn. Good morning. Let me know. Yeah, pop in where you're watching from. It's nice to know if there's people around me or the furthest away. People from other countries pop in all the time. It's great. And if I didn't even tell you, as I'm painting this, I am Cheryl from Tinker's Cart Art. I am an artist who works in mostly acrylics online and for classes, but I also love oil painting and watercolor. I paint in a very easy step-by-step method for you guys to be able to follow along and start painting even if you have never held a paintbrush. Seriously, if you learn step-by-step and just follow along, you could do anything. I can't really cook, but if I watch and follow someone, I sort of turn out some recipes. So it's just a coat of acrylic paint back and forth. And it looks a little streaky, but it doesn't matter because it looks sky-like. But I'm going to just dip my brush into some white paint. And I'm going to just go streak that back and forth. Just to give like a little look of maybe the illusion of clouds in the background or something, right? And I'm just going with a little bit of white, spreading it out. And it's working well and blending like this because I'm working wet and wet. That's why I work fast sometimes. I love the way my oil paints behave when I'm painting. I have time to blend and finesse and whatnot. Acrylics dry quicker. You could use a medium, a slow dry medium if you wanted to, or you could just speed up and just work a little quicker. So look, now I've got some little white streaks in there. And that's all we need for the sky. Simple, that's it. New Brunswick, Canada, nice. You're my neighbor to the north when I am in Maine. And you know what I did is I got myself all ready this morning and was very prepped and prepared early and forgot my water. So look, I'm going to use my drinking water here and to wash my brush off. Because I'm going to wash my brush off now. And actually, to be honest, I really didn't have to. I could have just gone into my ocean colors, but let me put a little bit of that sky in now. I've sort of gone right along to the bottom and didn't leave much room for my sky. So let's hop into the water. And that's just a little blue. You can see I have a little reflection of the the sky here with the turquoise, but it's just streaked paint back and forth. I work pretty quick, like I said, and I'll just blend those colors. And I see it's a little lighter in the middle, so I'm going to just take that turquoise color again. And like I said, I really didn't have to wash my brush now. I could have just popped right into that. For being so prepared this morning, I'm not really, you know what it's like with a move and all the things going on, and it's actually really nice to stop now and paint a little bit, because I've been, doing all the moving things, and this is really nice to sort of just stop. So I've just taken my flat brush, streaked my turquoise back and forth, and you know what I love about the flat brush is I can use it for a nice broad stroke, but when I'm doing something like this, I can use it on the chisel edge and get nice thin lines too. I'm going to go right into my blue now. I like when you can see my palette a little bit too, so let me just do this so you can kind of see that. And I'm going to just bring my blue in from the sides. So I've got my blue, and it's just an ultramarine blue. Again, whatever you have. And if you try it and your blue's a little different and it comes out a little different, embrace that. You want your paintings to all be a little different. I know you want to get them as close to when you're doing a project, the instructors, but I encourage you to make the painting your own. When I sit down and paint this, to be honest, it's going to come out different too. It's not going to look the same, really. It just is impossible to get the same look, every time. And you don't want to. We want all our paintings to be individual and put your own spin on it. Take the pattern, take the design sometimes, and just do something different with it. You could put a little palm tree up here on the side instead of the little grasses that we're going to do. So you can see I've got the brush held a little bit more on the chisel edge, and I'm bringing it in because it gives me those little finer lines. I'm going to kind of go right into my turquoise, let that blend a little bit. And it's a few steps. It's going to be a little back and forth, blending, finessing. I want to get a little bit of an orange reflection here too from the sky when we're going to put a little orange in here. But I don't want to put it in now because I don't want that to blend. I don't want to get a real muddled. I want to get a few little brush strokes of a nice bright orange in there, and some yellow maybe, white, which will be like little almost white caps and things. Hey Cam, good morning. So I am here. I was telling you I'm Tinker's Cart Art, but I'm here on the Craft Around the Clock segment this morning, and I know a lot of you are Craft Around the Clock watchers, and it's a fabulous place to be. The link is in my description. If you are one of my Tinker's Cart Art peeps and you have not followed Craft Around the Clock yet, check it out because it's live crafting every 45 minutes, Monday through Friday, and from morning till night. And it's so many ideas. I have started so many new projects and gotten so many ideas. It really is pretty cool. And let me pull myself up here so I can just make sure you're seeing everything okay, but I can see on my camera too. So I've really just gotten in a little bit of streaky teal in the middle. Cam, me too. There's just the best time of day, and I have a nice sunset out back here at night. It's really been kind of cool. I'm going to go into my white now. I'm just grabbing some of the white with my brush. I'm going to use it on the chisel edge a little bit, and I'm going to kind of go back and forth here and there. Sometimes the simple and quickest way is just leave it instead of fussing with things, because you know what happens then. So sometimes just do it, leave it, walk away, and come back and check, and if it looks like it's going to go, leave it. But give yourself some time. They all go through ugly stages when you're painting. Don't judge your finished painting by the middle of the process. You would be surprised at how just leaving it alone, looking at it the next day, improves things. Honestly, I've done it myself. I've gone to bed saying, that's not going to work. I'm going to have to just do that over in the morning. And I get up and it's like the little elves came out and magically fixed it. So don't paint over your paintings. Don't be too harsh with your judgment. Let yourself just have fun and look at it later. Now I want to get a little more white streaks in the middle. I'm just, again, the chisel brush. Now, if you're more comfortable with our detail brush to put those little lines in, go for it. I find that this bigger brush has a little more body to it, and it sort of blends the two colors together as you're going along. And so we are going to just streak some white in the middle there. So how many of you guys watching are painters or want to paint? Or if you're not a painter and you're a creator, what do you make? I'd love to hear what everybody else is doing. So I'm just slowly getting some white in there. I might take a little of my teal now and go over into the blue a little bit here and there. Just little touches. I'm just a little touch and leave it alone. And I've got everything but my little orange and some higher highlights. So can you see in the middle there's a little bit of orange streaks and a few whites that with a little detail brush, they almost start to look like they're little waves and white caps. So I think that's plenty what we've got there. I'm going to touch up where I just put my fingertips into my sky. And the white in the sky kind of faded a little bit, so I think I'll just go back and get it a little bit brighter in some places. And I am going to have to go back in and put some white under where my sunset is going to go. Now, I should have left that canvas white, and I was just busy gabbing and telling you all about my move, and I was just painting away. So I'm going to put a little white in there because yellow and orange are very transparent colors. And you couldn't really get them to cover this teal color. Starting with the white works great. If I'm painting a night sky or something that I know I want a lighter shade to go over, I will paint it white. So I got that nice dark navy sky, say, and I want a moon. I want a yellow moon. I will paint that yellow moon a few times in white and then put my yellow on. And it just makes it easy. If you're doing a big painting and you're doing a whole sky and you're going right along, you don't want to stop and go right around. Where the moon is, you just paint it and then just go over it and a couple coats of white, and then you pop your yellow on there and you get a beautiful, nice light shade. So that's what I'm doing here. I'm just putting this white back. I would have been easier just leaving it canvas, but it's okay. We're just going to go in and just put a little coat there. It'll be kind of nice because I can almost blend this little line here in softly to the teal. The thing with the sunsets is usually you have your blue and different colors up top, but down below you've got the orange and yellows, and you don't want it to look like a harsh ending. You want it all to blend. But when you're blending your yellow with your blue sky, you end up with a green tone a lot of times. So I try to use white as the blend. And so right now I'm just going to blend it into the sky. So I've already softened that bit when we go in with the yellow. So as you can see, it's just a little softer than a harsh line, and the yellow will blend nicely into that. When I'm blending some dark colors into a light, sometimes we'll throw a little white on my brush and use that almost as a blender. Good morning from Montana, Merla. Oh, wow. Another state I have not visited. It's so fascinating to me to see where you're all from, and I want to see if I can bring up the comments here to see what else. Good morning, Cheryl. There you are. Anna Maria from Madrid. You do pop in a lot. Thank you for popping in again. I'd love to see you here. Great. All right. So now I'm going to, this is dry here. I want this little bit to dry for my sunset area. Let's put in the little orange streaks. I'm going to go to a little smaller detail brush for that. Whenever I'm working with details, I thin my paint down a little bit. I know the acrylic is thin, but if I'm doing detail work and I'm doing a liner brush or a detail brush, I want to thin the paint a little bit so it flows smoothly and you get a nice long, nice stroke with, rather than if you had the paint thick and it was drying on your palette and you were going to do a little line and it starts dragging, what do? You press down and try to pull it more. That's when you get those little fine lines that are all like heavier in spots and not even. Keep your paint thin. There's lots of little tips and tricks that if you might have been frustrated sometimes with painting for certain things, there's little tips and tricks to help you over that. And oh, Flowery Branch, Georgia, Maureen, that's such a lovely town name. I love it. Okay, I'm going to get a little bit of orange on my brush. I'm thinned it with just a few drops of water, just a few. And I'm just going to streak in here and there because I'm going to have orange in my sunset very lightly. And you can see where I'm just kind of going across a little bit. Just a few little bits. It's almost nice that it's thinned down because it's a little transparent. I don't want big harsh lines. So I'm just putting in some little orange lines here and there. Can you see? It's very light, but you can see it. Oh, Pam, thank you. People say that, and sometimes I know, it's nice to be, up there and get all excited, and I don't know, this is so relaxing for me to paint and to teach, and I try to go just slower. Even though it's only 45 minutes, we usually make it. I'm always worried that, am I going to finish? And then I also worry, what if I finish too early? So it's 10:20. We have plenty of time for this little painting. And that's what I want you to see is like how quick you could sit down and just get a little creative time for yourselves. Hey, Jacqueline, thanks for watching. And now a few little white caps. So I'm just going to thin. My white paint was really thick to begin with, so I'm really going to water that down. And if you're doing any sort of ocean painting, you've got your waves and things, your blue, sometimes just a few little white caps. I'm just kind of starting the line, pressing a little bit, moving along. It's not like a solid line, it's not an even line. It's just some little heavier white lines. And I suspect as it dries, it might blend a little, and I'll just pop a little bit more fresh paint on top just to get a few areas that just look like white caps. I'm not worrying about out here so much because we're going to have these little grasses coming up on top. So it's just something like that. Can you see I've added a little more white? And sometimes I might even add a little orange over a few of those white streaks because that will show up a little brighter. So I'll have some that are a little darker, some a little brighter, and that'll be good for that. And I'm just trying to get that white paint dry there. I don't have a hairdryer handy, so let's just work on our little grasses. And they're kind of like in shadow, so they're just a dark, I take my blue, I'm going to mix a little black with it, and I'm going to just make those little grasses. I don't have one of my real liner brushes. The liner brushes are usually a long tipped brush. This is not a true liner. It's the best I could come up with in my bucket here, but usually you can have a nice long liner, and that's a nice brush to do all those little lines with. Oh, thank you from Niagara Falls. I don't see your name there. Let me know your name, and I'm a terrible name person, but I tried to remember. And Cindy from home. Hi, Cindy. Good to see you too. Okay, I'm gonna let that set a minute. Put in some little lines. I'm gonna mix right on my palette. I'm just taking my blue paint, little tiny bit of black. If you have a navy or a darker blue that works, you can do it. But again, I mix a lot of colors. I don't want to have a lot of paint. Well, we all love a lot of paint. I love going in and finding new colors, but we don't need it if you want to get started. And so I've thinned this down, kind of like ink consistency. And I'm going to use the brush that's the closest to the liner. I sometimes find it easier to pull the lines towards me. Whatever works for you. You can tip your painting any which way. And I start always at the bottom, because if you start at the bottom, you can give it a little pressure and then pull up and pull up and pull up, and look at how thin of a line. So sometimes you say, oh, I can't paint fine lines like that. Have the right brush, have your paint thin down, and light pressure. So I can press and get as thick as I want in the bottom, and then I can get it thin, 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 and when I pull it off, and what I'm going to do is make those little lines for my grasses, and then on the top, I'm just going to use a stroke like this. I'm just going to press the brush a little and make it like, I don't know what those grasses are, but just almost like the wheat too. You just press and pull. And practicing brush strokes is fun too and helpful. So a lot of times I do have, like I said, I teach in-person classes, but I also teach online classes, and I have two art memberships online. And sometimes when we get together by Zoom Live, we just sit and practice brush strokes, do our one-stroke flowers, but practice the brush strokes to get used to them. Good morning, Nance. So it's helpful, but it's almost relaxing and zen-like if you just sit and you're just practicing all your brush strokes. So I'm going to just make some grasses. So I'm starting pressing down and pulling up, and I'm just making the stalks for now, the stems, and then I'll put the little things on there. I'm going to add a little more black. I want it to show up a little more. It's still a little bit light blue. But like I said, I work better sometimes with this sort of thing, pulling them towards me. So it's just pulling those little things to make curve some of them. You can cross some over. They don't have to all be straight. Just put like they would be natural. Don't worry about them too much, because they can't be the wrong way. And I get a little shorter at the ones in the center. Just, I don't know why, just the design of it. I think it looks kind of cool. So we are going to put some little strokes there. And I like the way you get the little tapered ends. They're kind of swaying a little bit. You can picture that there's a breeze. And now I just put those little leaf bits on the top, and I just press and pull. Let me lift it up so you can see. And I can even do that a little closer, because I know it's hard to see upside down here and far away, but it's just, that's kind of a little big, but I am upside down here, so I just kind of press and put these little leaves things on. And this box, like I said, it's kind of in shadow. And like I said, you could certainly do a few little of those grasses on one side, maybe, and then do the shadow of a palm tree on one side with the fronds kind of hanging over the top of the sky would be pretty cool. And I'm just going to finish these little things up. And any questions, throw them out there. Hello, Cindy from Oklahoma. It's nice to see you guys all here. See if I can bring up all the comments. Sometimes I only can see them afterwards. I just see the recent ones, but I try to watch them coming up on the phone too. Hey, Debbie and Phyllis, thank you guys for popping in. Nice to be back, and like I said, because of the move, it's just nice to sit and paint. I'm going to work on some paintings now. I'm here just till Sunday, and now the house is pretty much in order. And I love to shop for like decorative things and whatnot, but I'll tell you, I'm even tired of that. It's like one more trip to Home Goods. It's usually my happy place, but it's like, oh, I forgot I need this or that. It's fun, but I'm ready to just sit down and paint a little bit and take a little break. I think I'm done with the moving, so like I said, our place in Maine, you'll see me coming from Maine probably after this, and it's just beautiful up there. I don't know if anyone's traveled up to the coast of Maine. It's just one of my favorite places. So we'll do some lighthouses and some ocean scenes. But if you have any ideas, if there's something you want to see me paint and demo pretty quick, send me a message or put it in the comments, and I'll consider it for next time. I'm always looking for ideas. So they're all kind of light. The big heavy one I was doing upside down, but there we are. Just a few grasses. You don't have to have too much. Hey, Dolores from Kentucky. It's Big Derby weekend. How are you? Exhausting, Pam. Yeah, it is. It's exciting because I just am excited to be right here with my brother, and my other brother just bought, and just he's doing the same thing, putting his house together now too. So it's fun, but it's tiring. Okay, so I was waiting. Oh, this is pretty dry. I probably would do another coat there, but we're gonna just jump in and put our little sunset in now. Yeah, Lisa, it's really fun, and it's all great parts of Maine, but I love the coast. I'm on the very southern coast. I'm New Hampshire, and then we're popping right in. I'm right between Algonquin and Portland. I'm in Wells, and there's little islands out there, and it's just so many fun cities along the way, and just the lighthouses, and of course the lobster and the seafood is not so bad either. Oh, Dawn, thank you. I really appreciate you guys sprinkling it out there, letting your friends know if they're creative or want to paint that I'm here. Oh, I would also, if you guys would, I'll beg a little bit, if you guys would follow me on Pinterest. I'm just starting my Pinterest page to get going. I've had it for a while, but I have not done much with it, but I'm really working on that now. And if you would follow me, I'm having a contest for any new followers. You might have seen it on my page, but if you haven't, check my Tinker's Cart art page out. So I'm going to put together a gift basket of my favorite things. I've got some art books that I love that I had to purge. I've got some of my own paintings, some paints and brushes that I particularly like. It's going to be like a big $150 worth of art goodies that I am going to pick raffle, I forget, the end of May. For anybody that follows me on Pinterest. So even if you have already followed me, I'm going to take all the followers. So if you did, thank you, and you will be in the drawing. But if you would hop over to Pinterest and just give Tinker's Cart Art a follow, I would appreciate it. Thank you. Okay, so I'm going to jump into, with my sample, that little sample there, orange into yellow and then fading into the sky. And I simply put a little circle, which I'll show you how quick those are to make, for the little sun. And it is a beautiful area, Jeannie. I just love it. Oh, Nancy, thank you. Yeah, you love Pinterest, right? Like, I remember when it was first a thing and my sister was explaining it to me, and I'm like, I just didn't get it, but oh my God, right? Don't we just save? We spend our time looking and saving the pins, and then you don't have time to do them, because I'm always like, I could never make all these things in my life, but I got great ideas for color palettes. You could search color palettes and get some beautiful color palettes that you could take those colors and incorporate them into a painting. Just the inspiration and the creativity, just being surrounded by that community is really fabulous. So thank you. Oh, Dawn, you're welcome. I have a blast. teaching people how to paint simply and just get started. But I do really more complicated paintings too. You've seen some of those. You can barely see behind me my spring bike painting there, and then I have a Frida mermaid. So some of my intricate paintings, there's tracers, and if you trace it on carefully, right, you can just paint by number kind of, and I'll show you the little techniques to get everything to look three-dimensional. I use a couple different techniques with shading and highlighting. Oh, Nance, new, thank you. Hi and welcome. So in my membership, I have 4 things a month, and I don't want to overwhelm people, but the reason being is pick something you like. Like I paint animals and landscapes and seascapes and still lifes and florals, and we do all sorts of things. And pick what you like and paint it. You don't have to keep up. It's not like, oh, I didn't get to that painting yet. Just look at the library. It's been going for 2 years now. There's 2 years worth of paintings in there. So we do 2 recorded things a month. So I'll record a painting and send that out to you. And I include traces of different sizes, color palettes, and then step-by-step easy instructions. But then I'm right there in the group with you. So if you're painting and you have a problem, you just reach out and I would help you with that. Then we get together twice a month live. So we do one painting. Oh, Dawn, yeah, and I do have that. I believe that one class might be on my website for sale. I'm totally off topic because it's like shiny thing. Also, YouTube, if you go on, I have a lot of free classes there that are longer if you want to take a look at how I teach a longer class. But in the membership, you will get 2 nights. So we get together one night or morning and do a whole painting together. And then we do a more of a casual was usually a tutorial that I would show you, like for instance, a quick painting like this, or waves or trees. But we're going to go more casual now. We're just going to show up and meet, because sometimes we do like painter's choice. You're going to show up, you bring a painting if you want to paint on it. Painting you might be having trouble with, I'm there to help you with it. You just want to watch and chat, that's great too. It's a great creative community just to have people to share things with. And then we're going to just do that once a month and just hanging out casually, painting together. And if you say, oh, Cheryl, I have trouble painting a palm tree, I'll demo a palm tree for you. So it's kind of fun. So if you're any interest in that, you can just message me or contact me. It's my Tinker's Artists Art membership is one. Then there's a simple one. If you want to just paint a little, I have a very simple 1 painting a month membership where you just email you the painting. And of course, we have a community and you can always ask questions. So. Anyway, the bicycle one was great. I'm going to be doing maybe a little workshop, kind of a 3-night painting workshop or challenge to, get out there and maybe the bicycle painting will be that one because people love that. And you're right, Pam. Back art in school, I was lucky, of course, because there was art in school back in my day. Then for high school, I went to a vocational high school and I was in a commercial art program. It was like the best thing ever. Of course, everything's digital now, so what I learned, but still, you get the basics of design and elements and color theory and all that. And then fine art for college. But yeah, I mean, art is if I didn't have art in school, I'm not musically inclined or really, I did some sports, but not well. So I don't understand why well, I do. I guess it's different these days. They have to teach kind of to the test, sort of. But the kids need the creativity. Anyway, so I do have lots of kids come, like with the moms and things for the paint nights, and I've done them for kids as well, too. But yeah, my favorite. So I'm going to pop into my orange now. And I'm just going to, again, I'm kind of going back and forth with the paint, streaking it. I'll probably do a second coat to get it a little brighter if it needs it. But if I can get my yellow in there now and blend it, I'm going to have a really nice blend. That's why I work kind of quick. I'll dry my brush off. I won't even worry about washing it. Yeah, I'll just dry it off. I'm going to go into kind of a goldy yellow, just to kind of as a little bit of a segue into the lighter yellow. And I'm going to dry my brush off and go into my light yellow, and then I'll probably add some white to that. I'm getting a little yellow, green tint because of the teal underneath, and the yellow is so transparent. And what I do to help that is I just simply take some white paint, which, let me get a tiny tab more. Probably not the best sleeves to wear when I'm painting because I tend to drag it through the paint. I think everything I own on the hem of every shirt is paint. So I'm taking just white in there just to soften that a little bit. And now I will wash my brush because I want to get a little cleaner white and get up into the sky color. So I'm going to wash my brush. When I do, I really want to absorb all of the water off. So I get it really dry. I always have a paper towel in one hand to do that, dry my brush off or absorb the water. Oh, you know what? I've been wanting to, maybe we talked about this, Dawn, I can't remember, but I'm really wanting to paint some chickens lately, and I will get to it, but so many ideas. Again, talking about Pinterest, I have so many little notes and things I know I want to paint. But I do have a blast designing my paintings for my group every month. What are we doing this month? We are doing, let's see. Oh, I just recorded. I'm recording. I should have kept it closer and I could have showed it to you. I am doing a really cute fox painting in the night sky with the forest around it. And then we are doing the beach. Oh, it's that beach cottage scene here. So this is one of our membership ones this month. And then we're doing a floral still life with daffodils in a vase on a striped tablecloth. So I run the gamut with what I paint. And like I said, it's not to paint all of them, it's to pick what you want to paint. So, okay, I just washed my brush and I dried it off really nicely, and I just stuck my brush in the orange paint, which that was dumb, but anyway. All right, so I'm going to go back into my white now. I want to get this little blend, and it's not bad. I mean, look at it from here, it's fine. But I want to blend it a little more into the sky color. But this is a good key takeaway. Don't look at your paintings from here and say, oh, this is coming out awful. I hate this. Look at this. Who's looking at your painting 4 inches away? No one. You put that painting and stand 4 feet away where people are actually observing it, and doesn't it all come together? Not really, right? So don't judge it. Don't judge at all. Paint and have fun. Step away from it and look at it later. So I'm going to go in with a little white into this yellow, which, because again, I'm gabbing, I have, the paint has dried a little bit. So I'm going into my yellow a little bit, into my white, and what I'm going to do is just soften it up into the teal color. And then I might clean my brush, take the teal color. Like I said, I would use a buffer of white sometimes to blend so I don't get that green sky. So I've got a little bit, I'm going to put a little bit more white right on the tippy top here, which blends easily with my light yellow. Now I'm going to just take my teal, which was my sky color, and maybe just soften that into that little bit that's across there, so that now I have a nicer blend into the sky. So it's just softer. So I've done orange, yellow, into the light yellow with a little white, and kind of use white. I don't want to say a band of white, it's not going to show up as a strip, but you're softly putting a little white layer on the top. Then you can take your top color, your blue, come down into that white, and you're not going to get that green stripe of the yellow mixing with your blue. I use that white, it's just a little buffer between the two colors. And then if I think I needed to brighten up my orange, I could. If I wanted to soften that yellow into my orange a little bit, I can do that. It might need nothing, but if you want to finesse it a little bit, you can. And I think I may just dry that yellow off my brush, take my orange. I just, at the base right here, I just want to have it a little more orange. And I think that's good. And that little sun, I'm going to let that dry a little bit. I don't want to drag the orange and yellow through my little white sun. This little way I'm going to show you how super simple to make a little sun or a moon, because they don't have to be perfect circles. Don't worry about it. So I almost make them a little wonky to begin with. That way I'm not trying to make them perfect. So a lot of times I'll do that. If I'm painting like a fence, for instance, like a little background fence, you're painting a snow scene or something, get the fence in the background. I paint it wonky on purpose, like kind of leaning here and there, because then you can't say it's not, you know, it's, oh, it has to be perfect, because they would be leaning a little bit anyways, but I exaggerate that a little bit sometimes, so it's kind of nice. Anyways, let's put our little sun in. I'll just see if there's any other questions, and throw some, I'm going to watch now if you have any other questions or comments or anything. I do love to see that, and that helps us all too. Just a little heads up, when you're watching the creators, whether it's here on my page, Craft Around the Clock, or anywhere, you can really help that artist or creator by just putting up a comment or an emoji even. It really helps our engagement, and we're always, you know, working on this platform to try to, like, we want to be here to bring you all the creative things and share, and I just love the community, but we want people to see us. That's what we need to do too. So simply, you know, sharing it, showing it to your friends, telling people about it, an emoji or a comment goes a long way, and it's really appreciated. I think now I want to, just with a little bit fresh white, go a little heavier. I'm using the paint thicker, not watering it down, and I'm putting in a little more of those little white caps here and there. And we've got 5 minutes left still. So do you see what I mean about how much you can do in a tiny time? Hey, Robin. Hey, good to see you. And Sandy. So yeah, try to just change your mindset if you're, because it's everybody's that way. We're busy lives, especially when the kids are younger. You're just busy. And you don't have time to do your art or your crafts or your creating sometimes. But if you have time now to get back to it, don't be stuck in the same rut. Just use a different mindset and just make time, buy a few supplies, set up a little corner of a table. It's all you need. And it brings so much happiness. I just hear so many stories about, well, you know, I wanted to. The best thing when I do my paint parties, my paint nights, which are fun and not real serious. They're fun art, not really fine art, but we have a blast. And what's the best thing for me is when someone comes back and says, oh, you know what, I went out and I bought some paints. I'm like, oh, see, and they're so happy to get back to it. And just coming for that one little night of just painting again or creating again, they're back into it. And I love that because I know what it's like to not have time to do it. And if we can make a little time, it's great. Alrighty, so the little sun, super simple. I'm going to do it on here, but then I'll show you on the back of the canvas too, because it's so simple. I just take white paint or whatever color I'm going to do my circle, and I just plop it down right in the middle of where I want it. Simply plop it down, and then I just spiral the paintbrush out like that. I do it a couple of times to get it to cover, but can you see I'm not tediously painting a little circle and then filling it in and doing another coat. It's kind of see-through here, which is fine. And I like when it gets a little feathery on the end, and I'm going to show you with a darker color on the back of the canvas just so you can get the idea, because it's really a fun way to do, you know, a little sun. Because look, I know it's wonky up close. I mean, mine's really wonky. But this is how I do it. If I was doing this, like I say, on a night sky, or even a blue sky and I want it, I would do it in white first, even if it's going to be yellow later. I would do it in white first. But let's get, you know what, a little piece of paper here. So I'm going to do it in a color just so you can see, for instance. I'll just go with orange because it's pretty and I love orange. So I really do. I simply just poke the brush down and then I just spiral, 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 spiral. But see when it gets out, I use spirals a lot in my paintings as a design element, as a background maybe. I'll just do light spirals. I have a Tree of Life painting that's very colorful, and in the background I very lightly do some spirals. I just love the, you know, the infinity of it, the no beginning, no end, the whole thing with spirals. So that's what I would do. I would do that in white, a couple coats, and then when it's dry and I want it to be a yellow, I just go right over it. Really simple. It comes out surprisingly round too, more so than if you were trying to paint a round bit. So that's a really good tip for painting moons and suns and circles. And oh, Cheyenne, I know it's tough. I know we have even Charlotte, who's here watching, is the same thing. She's got some grands running around, and it is hard to carve out time. I know it, but if you could even get a half an hour somewhere, or get out to a paint night or something just for one night, it's kind of nice. Hey, Lisa Marie, good morning. Good to see you. That's my friend Lisa Marie, and she's up in Alabama too, where Charlotte is, and maybe more of you. So here we are. You can look at both of them, and you can see that they're not really the same, but we don't really have to strive for that. But wouldn't this be fun with a palm tree? I really think we'll do a palm tree lately. But do put in the comments something that you might want to paint or see me paint. Oh, good, Charlotte. So how are you? Your arthritis is feeling a little better. Did I see that you hopefully can get going today? That would be nice. Yeah, Lisa Marie, tropical paradise, like when we were in Destin, which was fabulous, and it was a tropical paradise for sure. And let's see, yeah. So I would love it if you would pop over to Pinterest and give me a follow, and same with the other socials. And do keep in mind for the other creators, give them a watch. When I'm done here, who do we have coming up? We have Creative Roots Art coming up next. So I'm going to sign off. If you need to, just refresh the page and you will see them in a few minutes. And I really appreciate you painting with me or just popping in and saying hello. Have a wonderful day. I will see you all soon. Bye.